Hi, third graders. This is Mrs. Oyster again, and today we're going to learn a little bit more about perimeter. We are going to learn how to determine or figure out the perimeter of any polygon. Remember, a polygon is any closed shape with straight sides. So we'll be doing some that have 4 sides, 3 sides, 5 sides, 8 sides. I'm going to show you how you can figure those out. So first, let's review what perimeter is. This page is also in your math packet that you picked up. It's page 3, so you can use it as a resource in front of you when you're doing your work. Perimeter is the total distance around a shape. So you find the perimeter by adding up all the side lengths. So if you look here, this rectangle that we looked at yesterday, the perimeter is the distance all the way around, okay? Perimeter, remember we talked about the word rim means the outside edge of something. So perimeter is the distance around the outside edge of something, as opposed to area, which is how much space is covered. That's a different measurement. So to find the perimeter, again, we add up the sides. So for this rectangle, to find the perimeter, you would do 4 plus 2 plus 4 plus 2. Notice it's addition. Add it up, and that is going to give you your perimeter. So keywords, when we're talking about perimeter, you're going to hear words like around, because it's the distance around something. You might be talking about a border, an edge, some fencing. You do need to know the length and the width sometimes. Sometimes if it's a bigger shape, like an octagon or a hexagon, you just need to know the side length. Okay, so let's think about what we know about polygons. I told you polygons are closed shapes with straight sides. You're going to learn a new term today called a regular polygon. I'll come back to this in a bit. But a regular polygon is a polygon where all sides are the same length. So for example, a square would be considered a regular polygon because all the sides are the same. A regular triangle, as you see down here, would be a triangle where all the sides are the same. Okay, if one side's 4, they're all 4. A regular octagon means all of the sides are the same length. If this side is 2, then all the sides are 2. Now, a rectangle is not a regular polygon because not all of the sides are the same. But what we know about a rectangle is that the opposite sides are equal. So if this side is 7 meters, then this side also has to be 7 meters. If this side is 2 meters, then this side also has to be 2 meters. Okay, and then a square and a rhombus, you know, have 4 equal sides because I just mentioned they're regular polygons, but you also learned that when we were learning about quadrilaterals. Okay, so how's this going to help us? Well, when we are figuring out the perimeter, we have to know the side lengths. So if we use that, what we just learned about regular polygons, squares, rhombuses, or rectangles having opposite sides that are equal, that will help us figure out the side lengths. And the reason we need to know the side lengths is because when we are finding out the perimeter, we are adding all the side lengths together. Okay, so let's review yesterday. When we are trying to find the perimeter, we're finding the distance around a shape. Yes, I keep saying that, but I want to really drill that in there. So here's a funny looking shape. I always like to count the sides first because then when I'm labeling the side lengths, I can make sure I labeled all of them. So first I'm going to ignore those numbers and I'm just going to count the side lengths. Start at the bottom. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So this is a hexagon, so I should have 6 side lengths. Now I've already counted them, but let's just double check because sometimes I make mistakes. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, good. 6. I have 6 side lengths, so I probably did it right. Then, like I showed you yesterday, sometimes I imagine that I cut this right here with my imaginary scissors, and then I take those edges and I straighten them out. And that's what you see down here. So here's the 3 and the 3, the 1, the 2, the 2, and the 1. And the perimeter is going to be all those added up. So over here, I added them up. 3 plus 1 plus 2 plus 2 plus 1 plus 3. Now, if you're like me, I don't like adding that many numbers together because when that happens, I often make a mistake. So I grouped them together. I put the 3 and the 1 together, and I made 4. And I put the 2 and the 2 together, and I made a 4. And I put the 1 and the 3 together, and I made a 4. And then if I add 4 plus 4 plus 4, that equals 12. So the perimeter of this shape, the distance around this shape, is 12. Okay, so now let's do some regular polygons. Here's a triangle, and I want to find the perimeter of the triangle, or the distance around the whole triangle. Remember what regular polygon means. All the sides are the same. So this triangle has sides of 4 feet, 4 feet, and 4 feet. I'm going to add them up. 4 plus 4 plus 4 equals 12. So this triangle has a perimeter of 12 feet. Now, when you're dealing with regular polygons and you know that all sides are the same, basically you're going to be writing a repeated addition equation. Do you remember what you learned about repeated addition? You can also multiply, right? So if I have 4 plus 4 plus 4, that's 4 3 times. So then I can multiply 4 times 3, also get 12. You can do the addition, you can do the multiplication. Either one works when you're dealing with a shape that has all the same sides. Okay, let's try with another shape. Oh, is this a regular polygon? Nope, it is not. It does not have all the same sides. So this is going to be the perimeter of, well, let's see what kind of shape it is. I'm going to count. I like to start at the bottom left if I can. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Ooh, this is an octagon, kind of a funny looking octagon. Let's count my side lengths to make sure I have 8 side lengths. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Yep, I have 8 side lengths. So now to find the perimeter, what will I do? I will add up all the sides. So that's what's done here. 4, 1, 1, 1, 2, 1, 1, 1. I think I did this one in yesterday's lesson too, because I remember what I did is I took those ones and I made them 3, because 1 plus 1 plus 1 obviously is 3. It's easier to add those than to add all these numbers together. So 4 plus 3 plus 2 plus 3, that's going to be my perimeter. 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. So this shape has a perimeter of 12 units. Okay, let's go back to regular polygons. This is a regular hexagon. It has 6 sides. If it's a regular hexagon, that means that all sides have the same length. So if one side is 2, what do I know? If one side is 2, I know that this side is 2, and this side is 2, and this side is 2. And this side is 2, and this side is 2. Okay, so there's 6 sides, and they're all 2. So I'm going to add 2 plus 2 plus 2 plus 2 plus 2 plus 2, which is 12. Now, bonus point, what multiplication problem could I use? How many 2's are there? There's 6 2's, right? Because it's a hexagon. It has 6 sides. So I could also do 2 6 times, or 2 times 6, and guess what? You still get 12. Nice job. Okay, so let's practice with a couple of other regular polygons, shall we? So this is a regular pentagon. You might remember that a pentagon has 5 sides. And since it's a regular pentagon, what that means is that all the sides are the same length. So if this is 7, what are all these sides going to be? They're also going to be 7 inches. So to figure out the perimeter, I'm going to do 7 plus 7 plus 7 plus 7 plus 7. Please excuse my messy 7s there. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yes, I have 5 7s. What is 7 plus 7 plus 7 plus 7 plus 7? I'm going to be honest. That is kind of a hard one for me to do in my head. But I know this is the same thing as 7 times 5. And what is 7 times 5? 35. So the perimeter is 35 inches. Okay, let's try this one down here. I'm going to switch pens because do you see that flashing? I don't know why it's doing that. Well, nope, that's not really what I want. Okay, sorry about that, guys. I don't know what that is about. All right, so we're going to find the perimeter of this regular octagon. How many sides does an octagon have? It has 8 sides, right? Well, if it's a regular octagon, it means all the sides are the same length. So if one side is 10, what are all the sides? 10. So this is 10, and this is 10, and this is 10. This is 10, this is 10, this is 10, and this is 10. There's going to be 8 10s. So I could write 10 plus 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 10, but to be honest, that's a lot of 10s, and I don't really want to write that all. So what multiplication problem could I do instead? Well, it's going to be 10 8 times. So this is the same as 10 times 8. Now, if you want to write 10 plus 10 plus 10 and do it 8 10s, that is totally fine. It just kind of hurts my hand to do this with the mouse. So that's why I wrote 10 times 8. You'll get the same answer either way. 10 times 8 is 80, of course. So the perimeter of this octagon, if I were to travel all the way around, would be 80 centimeters. Okay? All right. Now, let's think about what we know about squares and rhombuses. I know technically the plural is rhombi, but I always feel a little silly when I say it, so I'm just going to say rhombuses for now. So what do we know about squares and rhombuses? We know they're regular polygons, right? We know that, why isn't that working? There we go. All sides are the same length. So this square has one side of 5. What does that mean? That means that all the sides are 5. So watch what I'm going to do. Well, let me do this. That means this side is 5. And that means this side is 5. And that means this side is 5. If all the sides are 5, then to find the perimeter, I'm going to do 5 plus 5 plus 5 plus 5, which would be 20. So this has a perimeter of 20 centimeters. How about a rhombus? What do we know about rhombuses or rhombi? They also have all sides the same length. And so that means if this side is 9 inches, then this side is 9 inches. And this side is 9 inches. And this side is 9 inches. So this is going to be 9 plus 9 plus 9 plus 9. Or 9 4 times, 9 times 4, which would be 36. So this has a perimeter of 36 inches. Okay, how about rectangles? What do we know about rectangles? Do they have all 4 sides the same length? No, they don't. But we know that opposite sides are the same length. So we know if this rectangle has a width of 4 and a length of 6, that this side is also 6 and this side is also 4, right? So let me just clone it. So if this is 6, then this is 6, correct? And if this is 4, then this is 4. So when I add it together, it's going to be 6 plus 4 plus 6 plus 4. Or I like to do 6 plus 6 plus 4 plus 4. 6 plus 6 is 12. 4 plus 4 is 8. And so this is going to be 12 plus 8. So it would have a perimeter of 12 plus 8, 20 centimeters. Okay. Let me see if I can actually type that in here. I feel like that would be helpful, maybe. No, maybe not. Sorry, I should have figured that out before I did this. Okay, so let's take a look at this one here. Yep, okay. So this has a length of 13 and a width of 10. And so we know that if this is 13, what's this? Also 13, right? So I'm going to put another 13 over here. Come on. There we go. And so we know that if this is 10, then what's the bottom? It's also going to be 10. So I'm going to clone it and put a 10 here. Okay, so how will I figure out the perimeter? Well, I'm going to add 13 plus 13 plus 10 plus 10, right? So this time I'm going to actually write it out if it'll let me. Sorry about my technical difficulties, guys. What is going on here? Okay, well, we can imagine that I'm writing it while my computer figures out what it's doing. So we're going to add 13 plus 13, and then we're going to add 10 plus 10, and add it all together to figure out the total distance. So 13 plus 13 is 26, and 10 plus 10 is 20. So I'm going to be adding 26 plus 20. Oh, here we go. Now it looks like maybe it'll let me work. Okay, so we had 13 plus 13 plus 10 plus 10, okay? So like I said, I'm going to add those together first, and that's 26. And then I'm going to add these together, and that's 20. Then I add this together, and what do I get? Hopefully you said 46. So the perimeter of this rectangle here is 46 inches. Okay, thank you. Sorry about that. All right, so your job today is to use what you just learned about finding the perimeter of different polygons to find the perimeter of some shapes. This is page 6 in your packet. There will also be a version in Google Classroom that your teacher will tell you which one they want you to do. And you're going to use what you learned to figure out these perimeters. So I'll give you a couple hints. I'm not going to give you the answers, but I'll give you a couple hints. Let's look at this one here. What is this shape called? It's a square, right? And squares have all the same sides. So if this has a side of 6, what's this? 6 and 6 and 6. So to find the perimeter, you're going to add all those together. Okay, this is a rectangle. What do we know about rectangles? Opposite sides are the same length. So if this is 10, then this is 10. If this is 5, then this is 5. So then you're going to add them all together. I highly, highly recommend that you actually label the shapes, like label the sides that aren't there, because it's really easy to make silly mistakes and just go, oh, this is a 6, it's a 6. Oh, this is 10 plus 5, it's 15. So you've got to make sure you're adding all those sides together. If you're doing it on the computer, I would get a piece of scratch paper, sketch the shape, label the sides, and then add them together. Okay? So you have this side. I don't know if I put the other, I don't think I put the other side on it. Oh, I did. Okay. So this side, I do want you to do them all. Notice this is a trapezoid. It's not a rule that the two opposite sides on a trapezoid have to be equal, but in this case, they are. Okay, hint, hint. Then here you can do this one and this one. This one you may need to do some adding on scratch paper. This last one here, I'm calling this an optional challenge because we have not learned something you have to do in this problem. Now, if you do it in the packet, the problem in the packet is not labeled as a challenge, okay? On Google Classroom, it will be. So I do want you to know you don't have to do this one, okay? It's a challenge. If you want to try it, go for it. I can go over the answer with you, but you don't have to, okay? All right, class, I'm going to have you go ahead and get started finding the perimeter of these shapes. Thank you for listening. Thanks for being patient with my technical problems, and I'll see you next time.